Okay people, this is himself. Welcome to another Tekken 7 Marduk guide. In this video, we're going to look at his power crush moves. This is going to include setups, Oki, and a 100 plus damage combo related to the subject. Now if this is your first time here and you want to learn all about Marduk, hit that subscribe button because there's a whole load of videos coming and I'm sure you'll be interested. But back to this video. Marduk has two power crush moves. The first is F1+2, aka double thruster. This comes out in 15 frames but it crushes from the 8th. On block it's -10, which seems a little unfair because the move is a high, but the Oki makes up for it. As you can see, they end up face up, feet away, and this is the worst position to get up from. The best low risk option is D3. This is standards, both side rolls, people staying down and wake up kicks. Sadly back rollers will escape, but because D3 moves back a little, it can be hard to punish. If we want to be a bit more greedy, up back 1+2 is the way to go. This is the same options and it does more damage. The issue though is that it will still whiff against back roll, and here you might get punished. To cover that, we can use DF1. This launches standards and back rollers and also wake up kicks. As a bonus, it also clips side roll right. To be a bit more greedy, we can use DF3, DF1. This will only launch back rollers because standards can block it. It also gets beaten by wake up kicks. To cover that though, you can use FF3 too. This is those on count hit, so the launch is guaranteed. It also hits standards in the back, so you still get a combo. What that does is it leads people to stay down, so when you get a hard read, ground throws are the way to go. Now I've already done a video covering these, so do check it out. At the wall, the Oki gets even better. Cause there's no space to close, the stomp is guaranteed. What you can also do is up back 1+2. This does a little less damage, but you can go into stance. My preferred option though is VTS3. Again, this does a bit less damage, but it gives you the flip over, so unless they tech roll, you can do stuff afterwards. It will also splat wake up kicks. What may also be guaranteed is ground throws. I'm not 100% sure on this because the timing feels different for different options, but from my testing, you should be able to get these before they can escape. Now with this move being a power crush, there are ways to set it up, and in my opinion, it's actually quite useful for Marduk. Most of his moves are negative on block, so this can stop him from being pressured. A great candidate is up 4-3. This is a safe counter hit launcher, and on block it's only -2. What that means is that you'll crush anything from 10 to 17 frames, and people will throw stuff out because they see a jumping move and they instantly assume that it's punishable. Another great move is D3. On block this is -12, but on hit it's only -1, and on top of that Marduk recovers standing. Now this is important because most of those are minus on hit and they recover crouching, so what most people do is check with a mid. But if they do that here, Marduk can crush them, and once you've done that a few times it becomes a mind game. Now as well as being a power crush, double thruster is also a punisher. Obviously at 15 frames you have DF1, but that isn't always going to reach, so against moves with pushback this may be the way to go. You might lose some Oki, but it's better than doing nothing. On a side note, I also want to talk about this move, full crouch DF2. This has a similar knockdown to double thruster, but they land closer, so the Oki is actually better. For easy damage, the best option is up back 1+2. This hits them no matter what they do, so it's guaranteed. Beyond that, you have VTS3. You need to take a small step first, but if you do it right, it launches standards, back rollers and wake up kicks. It also clips side roll right. If you don't want the hassle, then just go for DF1. This covers the same options, but it won't hit people staying down. Another guaranteed hit is full crouch DF4. This does slightly less damage, but it has some interesting results. Against wake up kicks, it's a counter hit, so a ground throw attempt is guaranteed. Against standers, it hits them back turned. This trips them and it almost guarantees a ground throw attempt. The only ways they can escape are a toe kick or spring kick. To counter both of those, we can use DB2. And finally, against back rollers, they can't seem to block it, so that means you end up at +8. From there, you can go for a jackhammer or go for a safe mid. One last option is FF32. Just like the power push, if you get a hard read on standers, you can launch them, and if it's a wake up kick, it's even better. The other power push move he has is power straight. This comes from his stance and it's also a wall bounce move. Now I could explain the setups and properties for this, but the thing is I already covered it in my wall bounce video, so the best thing for you to do is just to watch that instead. My next Marduk guide will be on his launching throw, so make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. In the meantime, check out my other stuff and I'll see you guys in the future.